Have you been looking for an awesome exclusive Archie Halloween Spectacular variant cover? Well, look no further. Cartoonist Troy Dungera and Matt Rodgers teamed up with Fayetteville Comic Con and the Dragon's Lair Comics to bring you this exclusive cover. For just $15, with US shipping included, you'll get one of these 100 signed Archie Halloween Spectacular covers, plus a mini print you can't get anywhere else. Contact Troy Dungera or Matt Rodgers if you're interested, or go to tunesbytroy.com and order now. That's Tunes with a Z. If you live outside of the United States, please contact them for more info on shipping. But yeah, so we're hanging out, talking about whatever, drawing about whatever. We're going to test the new setup for me, a very fancy setup in which I slide my laptop closer to me and tip it down so you can see some physical drawing. I had recently completed the 31-day challenge, which the graphic is coming up right here of all 39 drawings because I did a bunch of bonus ones for fireflies. And that physical drawing has fueled my interest into doing that on the show for the first time. So we're going to see how that plays out. So I'm going to do some random cartooning sketches. I'll talk about my experience at Mighty Con Milwaukee a little later on. Let's jump over to Matt Rodgers. What are you concentrating on work-wise here, art-wise?
I am doing pencils for Happy Astronaut number 3,
Ooh.
and it's secret that nobody can see yet.
So yeah, Happy Astronaut number 3, as we are recording, it just came out at the end of August. Happy Astronaut number 1 is now available for everybody. We've been talking about it. We had a whole episode about it, but now you can go ahead and get yourself a copy from your local comic shop. And yeah, so you are working on issue number 3. Issue number 2 is currently in the previews catalog. So ask your local comic shop or go to keenspotshop.com and catch up on all the hype. Cool. Speaking of Happy Astronaut, we have Matt Fife here. What's on your art plate today?
Um, I did a really basic drawing of Kid Slapshot a while ago, and I'd planned to paint it.
Hmm,
Now I'm painting it. We'll see
cool.
how it turns out. Yeah, but I may be also working on the script to Happy Astronaut number 4, trying to get it finished up while we talk. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling.
As I'm testing out the angle on the screen, when I do the pencils, naturally, whether it's physical or digital, sometimes it's a little harder to see. But right now, I'm mapping out a character, a little known character, not played by Will Ferrell, but Elf, as in the alien life form. A friend of mine, Chris, who is um, an awesome friend, and he has been checking out the art and stuff. And he goes, "Hey, do you have any elf?" And I'm just like, you know what? I drew one little elf for Eric Wolfgang on a package I sent over to him, but I haven't done anything really official beyond a quick doodle. So I'm that's the first one up for me is elf.
Gordon Shumway.
Hey Willie. But yeah, we're all just chilling. We're drawing. We're talking. Like I said, I'll talk about some Milwaukee Mighty Con stuff. Um, we've got the release of Happy Astronaut number 1 of the Fifes. The Fifes. How about the Fifes? So we have Matt Fife and then Matt Fife as well. are both here.
Matt Rodgers.
Both Fifes are here. Um, talking about the kind of the experience. We'll kind of touch on that as well about having your book out there on the shelves, as Rogers has been saying that he's, you know, a working comic book artist for 1 month now, as far as you know, starting the official published journey here. But and then you have Cincinnati Comic Con coming up at the end of September. So yeah, those are just some things that we can touch on as we go on and hang out. So yeah, I have got my pencil layout here. I'm not sure if that shows up on the screen yet, but I'm definitely getting the Sharpie thrown on for a little elf.
Oh yeah, bro.
If I can find the pictures, I'll throw in some elf photos of. I always had an elf stuffed animal, and that thing was with me all the time, and so it's very possible that people could be seeing those photos right now. Uh,
Was it the one that had the you could squeeze his belly and he would say stuff?
I don't remember any speaking coming from him, but maybe it was worn out so much that I knew him more without a voice.
Why haven't they rebooted Alf?
That's a good question.
Well, there's some news. It's not a reboot, but maybe it could lead to something. I know they've tried, and currently Ryan Reynolds is doing something with Elf for like Canadian television of like bringing it back into circulation or something, and maybe that could lead to an eventual revival or something. But there's some news out there within the last couple weeks of Ryan Reynolds bringing Elf back, but I think it's for rerun purposes, so at least for now.
Hmm. I mean, they could get the kid back
I put-
because I don't think he's doing anything.
My favorite thing at Elf is the dad just always going, "Oh, Elf, Elf, oh, Elf," and then it's a similar thing to the guy from Punky Brewster. He'd always like, "Oh, Punky, Punky." So like both of them, these two, you got a foster dad. They're both foster dads in a sense of Elf and Punky, but they're always just like, "Ah, Elf, ah, Punky."
I think they did
Oh,
a Punky Brewster reboot.
yeah, they did.
I didn't watch it because I was never a big Punky Brewster fan, but
I watched
yeah.
it. It was decent. I think it's definitely geared. It's as basically like Fuller House, where it's like you if you're our age, you come for the nostalgia, and then you kind of get into the show where it's like, all right, this is for the kids of the kids that grew up with it. It gets back to that, so it's obviously about some new characters and such. But Freddie Prince Jr. was in it, so that was cool. But you know, seeing people come back, I liked it.
Nice.
I have a Punky Brewster drawing. Maybe the world is blind. Do 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 do. I love
I
Punky.
still can't remember the Punky Brewster theme song.
Oh, that was part of it.
Yeah. Like it didn't even like
Well,
jog anything.
yeah. Every time I turn around, something something. Dun, dun, blah, blah, blah. Now you got it right. Now it's all making sense. I wouldn't.
Sure.
I was on screen. I probably wouldn't have done this singing. This is only happening because of my art view right now. So
There. It's only disappearing a little bit.
My daughter just got her haircut and she asked everybody like 6 times if her haircut looked good.
What'd you tell her?
I said, yeah,
Said
it still looks fine. It looks just as fine as it did 20 minutes ago when you asked me. And then she was just like, thanks.
Kids are awesome. Huh.
Like we got her a sketchbook, and so every night before bed she brings it downstairs and she'll like draw on it for a little while. She'll show me what she drew, I'll be like, yeah, that looks really cool. And then she'll show me another thing. I'll be like, wow, that one looks really cool too. And then she'll act sheepish. And then she's like, out of every drawing I've shown you, which one do you like the most? I'm like, oh, I can't possibly pick one.
A lot of people don't get your sense of humor.
They really don't.
They think you're being funny.
Right? She was having trouble with her homework tonight, and she had to bring it home, and she has to turn it in first thing in the morning. And then she also forgot to bring her textbook home to like do the work. And she was asking me for help. And I'm like, I have no idea how to help you with this. And she was like, weren't you ever in fifth grade? I was like, yeah, 30 years ago.
Almost 50 years.
Jeez. And plus, like, school's so different now, man. Like, they're teaching them stuff that I learned like 3 or 4 years later.
What grade did you say she's in?
Fifth.
Fife and Rodgers.
What?
You guys have a comic book that's on the stands all across the world, probably, and in the galaxy, probably. Every single planet. Happy Astronaut #1 is out there. Let's start with Matt Fife. What was your kind of experience like waking up? Well, first, I guess it all started Tuesday night with the Oh Yeah Comics and Beautiful Milwaukee new comic book day preview show, showing off Happy Astronaut and get some shout outs. So I guess let's start with you, Fife, on your experience of just kind of from the eve of your Happy Astronaut #1.
The Oh Yeah experience was pretty awesome. They talked about us for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And we got the little trumpet blown for us and all sorts of things. That was cool. But then the next day, the release day, I had to actually work, and I we don't reveal our jobs on this, right? We just have jobs. But
Perhaps.
my job, I always work a split shift. So I work for like 4 hours in the morning and then 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon, and I have 5 or 6 in between to do my own thing. So I went up to a nearby city who to a comic shop who told me they were going to order our book and have it on the stands because we were local creators,
Yeah.
and they didn't. So then I turned around and went home and went back to work, and then I forgot that it was release day, and I'd volunteered to do extra work that night, so I had to. I was at work pretty much all day that day. I was either at work or I was disappointed.
But when you went to sleep that night, you went to sleep knowing that your comic book is out there for the world to now read.
Just not in that one shop.
Where else?
Everywhere else, maybe, just not there. But the Oh Yeah guys, that was a pretty good high I was walking on. So, and there are other shops, plenty of other shops. I just chose the wrong one to go to. It was good. It was good. It was
I
crazy.
chose 2 wrong ones to go to.
My local comic shop got it based off of my recommendation and constantly mentioning it and everything like that. So it was cool to see my copy come in, and as well as some for the shelf. And so yeah, I'm going on them at least.
It was really cool seeing like um you shared a picture with us, Anthony.
Yes.
I think his name is Niall, who is doing a book called Squish and Squash, from coming soon from Keenspot, available at keenspotshop.com. He sent a picture of Happy on the stands at Midtown Comics, which is pretty amazing. That's a huge shop. There were a few other World's Greatest Comics. We saw a picture of it on their stands. They're in Columbus. Go check them out. Yeah, it's weird. Like I think I've talked about this on this show before, but when you're a kid and you have all these dreams and plans and stuff, you think like when these dreams and plans actually come to fruition, that day is going to be reserved strictly for that event that you've been waiting on your whole entire life. But in adult world, you just have to go to work and deal with this awesome thing happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Everyone
But
else still treats you the same, and you've got this, it's like you have this little secret being like, hey, I'm a published comic book artist, writer, creator, everybody. But yeah, it's just a
yeah. Sorry, Anthony, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but yeah, that it's no, it's just you still have to do your stuff. So
Yeah. And I thought like I would like get a name tag and that said, "Hi, my name is comic book writer" or something.
yeah,
But barely anybody knows like that I talk to on a regular basis knows that I have this going on. Um, so yeah, it is like you were saying, it's my own private little thing.
you just get to walk around just being like, I am so much cooler than everybody in the room.
I
Just
don't I don't know if that's what goes through my head.
that's what I would feel like.
It's
Uh,
funny at my work, there's like a couple of people that know and care, and I don't really publicize it too much because they're just not the types that would care. But one of them overheard today somebody asking me questions about it, and all of a sudden they were full of ideas for
oh,
me to, if you have, man, I know a guy that makes t-shirts, or hey man, if you do this you got to do that and this, and I'm like, our contract doesn't really allow for that kind of stuff. Like I can't just go to a mom and pop shop and get stuff made because I
yeah,
don't have the right to do that.
yeah.
So that was fun to explain. Like while we do retain ownership, let me ask you, do you know what the rights of first refusal mean? So it's been fun. But the guy that does care, he thinks it's pretty cool. He hasn't bought one, but he thinks it's cool.
Yeah.
Is
So
he going to? Is he one of those guys?
I think he's the guy that's like, I'm not going to ask you for one for free. I'm just going to hope that you give me one. And I'm like, bro, I had to buy these. I'm not giving them away.
well, if you ask me, because I did buy my copies, um, it's well worth it. Everybody, it's a great, fun comic. It's been fun to get the sneak peeks behind it, and read some different drafts, and obviously following the Zoop campaign and all that kind of stuff. And it's just pretty exciting to see it out there in the wild, and it's a lot of fun. Um, before I continue on with more of Roger's experience here, I drew an elf here that's going to just go into my pile of my $1 sketches that I plan to just pile up for comic book conventions. So at the time of this recording, I recently got back from my first ever convention as an artist, Milwaukee Mighty Con, and these $1 sketches were very popular. It's a good chance because they were $1. But also, I was doing these in the spirit of Art Baltazar and all the artists and oh yeah crew that would do their quick sketches years and years ago, decades ago, I should say, and they would do their contest, being like, all right, who could draw Superman the quickest? Who can draw Batman the fastest? How about Spider Man? And then they would just have a pile of all these quick drawings and then sell them for $1 the next day at the con. So, with the inspiration of that, I decided to do quote unquote quick sketches when I'm not sitting here talking and hanging out with my buds. Most of these have taken about 5 minutes a piece. But yeah, essentially, this is what I'm doing. I throw my information on the back, put it on the table for $1, and the other inspiration is definitely Eric Wolfgang. If you do get commissions from him, he has multicolored sketch cards, which I will probably put on images here for my vast collection that I've been building up. And so I think the combination of Eric Wolfgang and Art Baltazar has kind of inspired me to do these drawings. So here is a quick elf, thanks to my buddy Chris. So yep, just want to that off. I got a couple more characters lined up to do on the show, but there it is.
Very good.
Looks good.
I like his shirt. I'd wear it.
Yeah, and I wanted to do something different with his beard, so I kind of gave it, a certain style there, and gave him some chest hair, and just kind of, just designed it rather than just being a big fuzzball. And then rather than kind of blackening out his eyes, a lot of these sketches I've been having a lot of fun with the Bic whiteout pen, as well as a smaller, finer tip
Mhm.
jelly roll. So yeah, I've been using these whiteout pens, and so I purposely wanted to use that so I could actually add some white onto this beyond the teeth. But
Yeah,
Yep.
I got a set of those jelly roll pens, and are you inking with Sharpie?
I haven't used anything other than the white one.
Right, because the set that I bought it's 3 sizes of white, but I don't like them because if you use microns or Copic multiliners,
Okay.
whatever the makeup of the gel pen is interacts with that ink, and it'll actually draw it out, and you end up with a weird gray color instead of white.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I can use this to do cool stuff. And then I did it one time and I was like, nope, I can't.
Yeah, I just bought. I don't really know anything about brands, and I am very much not in the know of that kind of stuff. And I just simply saw like, oh, this is a thin whiteout pen, and then I got the thick one, and that's pretty much all I know. So yeah. Anyways, to get back to the happy astronaut of it all, did Rogers do a disappearing act? I looked at his screen, and oh, he's back there. Okay,
Perfect.
we'll wait
He's
for.
within your shot.
He's back. So
I'm back.
the eve of New Comic Book Day for Happy Astronaut #1. Oh yeah, comics showing into their live stream, giving the shout outs and all that stuff. Let us know your experience leading into release day for Happy Astronaut.
Every time I talk on the Oh Yeah Comics stream, I get told that I'm on the fence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every time I give an opinion on something that they say, you're on the fence, Matt Rodgers. That Matt Rodgers guy, I don't know about him. Every time.
Joe Crone and Adam Crow over at Crone over at Oh Yeah, but yeah, Adam's usually making those fence calls there. So
I'm always in trouble with those guys. But it was really cool, man. Like seeing it and like they just seeing a shop having it in, because as soon as their stream was over, I was looking at my timeline and World's Greatest Comic stream started. And then I got to watch it and see our comic on their shelf too. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. And the day of release, I went to 2 shops in my area, and neither one of them didn't have it at all. They said that they ordered some,
yeah,
and the only Keen Spot book they had on their shelf was Hollowed. So I don't know if maybe they got the wrong book because they're both H's,
hello,
or if they were just saying, yeah, we ordered it, just leave us alone. And then the other shop that I went to, their new release shelf, which is completely in alphabetical order, there was an H book, and then the 3 slots to the left of it were empty. So I don't know if they had it at one point and sold it and didn't have any more.
Let's go with that. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, sold out at that shop.
And that shop did tell me that they are very conservative with the books they order. Like they really like for them to have been pre-ordered, and then just a few for their shelves, the ones that will definitely sell. But it's awesome. They took a gamble on us and it sold out like within hours.
Yeah.
You know what else is crazy about like the Happy Astronaut thing is that like a year ago, we were in the midst of our Zoop campaign. Like 1 year ago, right now, I don't even know if we'd launched the campaign yet. But now we were able to find a publisher that quick, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's awesome. It was just like, I wonder if we'd be like 20-year vets at this point if we would have finished these things all the way back then. Probably not. I remember the stuff we were making.
It was real bad.
It was really great.
It was awesome, but it was
It was hurting.
it was man. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been really cool. Every couple of days I do a Google search for a comic just to see if, because basically what I want to see if anybody ends up reviewing it so that I can link to the review. And we're listed in a thing of like new books that are like good for kids to read. And then just all the random like online comic shops that sell comics. A few of them say sold out, so I don't know if they ever like had it.
Yeah, they had it.
Right. It just seems weird. Yeah, it's sold out on whatever random comic website is. And then it has the like you Google it. Like we basically own the first page of Google when you search for Happy Astronaut. Like it has the Keen Spot shop. It links to our Zoop campaign for some weird reason. But then I found our issues on eBay already. People are already selling it on eBay.
Spec as high as oh yeah, comics would say.
Did you see that the cover sketch that you found the other day on Instagram? Did you see that it's up for sale on eBay?
Oh, is it really?
It's like, I think $70 or something.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
No, no. I have enough copies of a Happy Astronaut #1. I'm good for now.
You had to really think about it if he wanted to buy it or not.
He thought about it for a second.
Should I go on there and get it quick before this episode gets published?
That guy should have offered it to us for free.
All right.
Not really.
Quick break. Just any guesses on what's happening over here? I'm designing another cartoon character. Is it visible?
Yeah, I know who that is.
You know who it is?
Yep.
Oh no, not that. It's Reptar.
It looks like Ducky.
Well, maybe it's Ducktar
Hey, there you go.
or Reppy. Recky.
Man, who's gonna host our show if Anthony's not allowed to talk anymore?
It's gonna be a silent show, I think.
Man, this issue 3, I gotta tell you, man, this is gonna be hilarious.
Is it good?
What do you mean when you say good?
Is it the best I could do at the time?
It's pretty hilarious. We got all right, I'm gonna share my screen. Future Anthony has to edit this out real quick.
Okay, here's the editing point. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will return after this message for a little highlight reel of my Archie Art Challenge.
Whammy.
So yes, that was a quick slideshow of my Archie art challenge there. We're back from the break. Welcome back, everybody. So yeah, the kind of wrap up that experience for Rogers, kind of just that excitement of going around. I forget exactly what you've all said now because to the viewer at home, it was just mere seconds ago, but to us, it feels like 3 hours ago. Um, so, any other basically closing thoughts and just the overall experience of Happy Astronaut being out there now in the wild?
It's it feels really cool,
Yeah,
and I hope that it keeps happening. Pretty much. Like, see, it's like for me, it's everything's like for the first one, I'm like super in it, and I'm like, yeah, I want to experience this. And it's like I number two showed up in previews, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. When number one was in previews, I'm like telling my wife, I was like, you got to run to the store. You got to make sure you get a copy of that so that I have it. Number two, it's like, all right, neat.
I got a copy of
and this
But you get one every month, don't you?
No, every other month now. No, they're like almost $4 from where I get my comics.
mine are
Yeah.
free.
Where
Yeah.
yours are free?
Yeah, the shop owner gives them to the top customers, and especially knowing that they're going to be ordering stuff out of them. So we would do the same thing back in the Crimson Cowl days as well. Just subscribers getting them figured. If they get one or two new books out of it or something, it kind of pays for the catalog and everything. So
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I
place. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay. The place that
Oh.
I went, they give them for free until they're gone.
yeah.
I used to get them for like 99 cents from I've had to do mail order for probably 12 years now to get my comics. But where I was getting them from previews was 99 cents, and then with lunar distribution and all that happening, when that started happening, the cost of the discount for previews was reduced, and it pretty much became near cover price to get a copy of it.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it to convince me to buy more stuff that I probably definitely want.
They have a lot
More
of non-comic stuff in there now.
Yeah, about half
Lots
of it.
Yeah, like lots of toys and like cards. I was like, for not having the two biggest comic companies in this book sure is thick.
So many independent publishers.
It's still one of my most favorite things to do is sitting down with the all 300 catalogs now that everybody's got their own, but with all the catalogs and just sifting through and finding the gems and yeah, I still that's one of my favorite experiences, like leading into a night just being like, all right, I'm going to have some drawing shows or something going on, some podcasts going on, and flip through these books and start building my orders. And I still live in that experience quite a bit. So
Do you have a black Sharpie marker that you use to like put a check mark or number as you're going through it, the books you're getting, or do you dog ear them, or what's your method? Or do
every
you just put it on your order form as you get to that page?
So I've always been very organized in that fashion. So I will do I have a note file that goes from publisher to publisher, and everything's all organized and, you know, cover specifics if needed. And everything is just all super organized. And then when I go into a new month, I will copy and paste the old one so I can remember like, oh yep, I was following this one. I can pretty much keep track, making sure, sometimes, books like Happy Astronaut, every other month, but there's other books that can, be out of the catalog for a while.
Yeah.
So then that way I can just keep a ongoing record of it and everything. And so yeah, I keep it all organized, but it's all through the phone. I don't write anything down or anything. So
Gotcha. So when you're done with your previews catalog, it's still nice and minty.
for the most part, yeah. And I do. I am keeping the one that Happy Astronaut was in.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It has nothing to do with the fan art in the letters pages. Like, I'm not saying that either as a joke. I'm just saying, oh, I think it's just a cool experience and feels cool to kind of come in at the Happy Astronaut on Zoop and not really knowing you guys, but seeing the quick word about it and the I like pink group and everything, and then obviously slowly getting to know you guys. So, but yeah, I'm keeping my copy. So
I was so nervous posting that on there, like, because
yeah,
you don't really see anybody use that for like promoting themselves, and
sure,
I fully expected it to bother any of them, like, but
yeah,
it got one supporter and a friend
and
and
so
a
the supporter you're
deleted.
talking about me, but who is the friend you're talking about?
Oh, it was some other guy, I think.
Oh, is
I
it
guess it was some other guy. I don't know his name anymore, but
Dan?
jerk.
What kind of a friend are you?
Uh, so yeah, and I'm keeping the catalog for issue number 2, but that one is solely because that is the my pinup in that issue. So that's my own personal being like, hey, if I pre-order the book that is listed in this catalog, it's going to contain my first full page published pinup. So that one is being kept for other special reasons too. So issue
Um, you know,
3,
I'm
I'm that one I'm recycling.
not, I'm I once saw the original previews catalog that had Walking Dead #1 in it on
Really?
eBay, and I think it went for hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
So potentially
Hold on to it.
you might want to go buy an extra copy. Um, and I don't even know if it was on the cover, if it was just like an image comics page.
Yeah, there's a good
I
chance it
couldn't imagine,
yeah, there's a good chance it probably wasn't, might not even been highlighted.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
because
cared
Kirkman,
about that comic before it came out, did they?
I don't think so. I don't think
Because
anybody
like
cared about it until the show.
because Kirkman didn't like Invincible was after Walking Dead, right?
I think so.
I can't remember. I think all he did before Walking Dead was that science dog or whatever it was called.
We
Yeah,
had a ton of Marvel stuff too, and
it's
Right,
like
yeah.
but it
something with a hope or something.
he
Didn't he
did
do a
he did an Ant-Man.
battle hope or something?
I don't know. I know that he lied to
Yeah.
somebody at Image and said that, oh yeah, the zombie outbreaks because of aliens. We'll get there.
That's
He's
hilarious.
like, I'm
So
never gonna
smart.
get there. The only way they would have published this crap. Because yeah, like I read this whole thing about how there's zero reason why Walking Dead ever should have succeeded because zombies were out because like the Marvel zombies had already run its course as a black and white book and those never sell. And it's like nobody wants to read this. I
Yeah.
guess it was originally supposed to be like a an adaptation of Night of the Living Dead. Is another thing that I heard.
Hmm.
I'm just like, good for that dude, man. Because now he is a partner at Image.
Yeah, he did good. And I mean, he's quality. He's not just like every book he puts out is so good.
They are, and it's one of those guaranteed purchases, just being like, well, his name's on the books. I'm definitely going to definitely check it out. But yeah, it lives up to it every time.
Did you guys
Man,
see that
speaking,
Firepower is coming to an end? Issue 30.
Oh, is that right?
That book. That's one of my favorites that he's done. Him and Chris Somney.
Omni, yeah.
It just came back from like a year hiatus or whatever, and I think they'll get 6 more issues before it's the conclusion.
Well, knowing Kirkman like I do, just from just being a comic fan, um, like I trust that if he comes to an end on something, that it's because it's the right end for something. Like with Walking Dead, that was one of those things that he kind of knew, like, eventually, if he got to a certain point in the story, that that was going to be like start leading towards the end. And while the series itself easily could have sold and kept going for way longer, um, once he was writing and got to a certain point, he realized, oh wow, this is the point that I knew I was going to get to eventually. And then that's where he went towards his ending. So like, while I don't think he had a set number, but because it was what, a couple shy of 300, because you wouldn't have ever. It was so genius the way that book ended, because it rewarded the people that had pre-ordered it, like myself, where we would just go in and we pre-ordered, 2 or 3 extra issues, and then we would get to the shop on one day and find out we have a triple-sized issue for the price of one comic, but also surprise, it's the last issue. And being at Crimson Cowl at that time, and comic shops all over probably experienced it. People being like, "Hey, do you have any copies of the Walking Dead number, 290, whatever it was, 293 or something?" And people like, "Oh no, we sold out." And people had asked me like, "How do you get one?" I'm like, "Well, I've been pre-ordering it for like years now at this point." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, I read the book." I'm like, that's why I have a copy of this, because I actively read it, and I'm not just you know turning it around for a sale or something. So I love that he could have capitalized so much more, by continuing that story forever, and also advertising the ending, and you know oversaturating with all the variants, and like that could have been the biggest thing pre-ordered in comics basically. But he had a story to tell, and he rewarded the people that were reading.
Yep. He didn't even get to that. I don't know if you mentioned that. He didn't even like try and stretch to get to that milestone number, you
Yeah,
know? 'Cause it ended on some like you I think you said 293. It
yeah,
ended at like just a number. Um,
I think
but
it's
also go ahead.
yeah, I believe it's 293. Go ahead.
But he also in those months leading up to that final, I mean, basically trade paperback coming out, he was writing up fake solicits
Oh
for
yeah,
these issues that were never going to come out. And if you go back and read those, they're they seem kind of bonkers.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, yeah, that was a good comic.
Just
yeah.
for
I
fun, it would be
hope
awesome if somebody would actually like do those as one shots.
What
Here's the long lost 294. Man, it's weird.
we could do that as a fan comic.
Good.
True.
The the squawking dead.
They're all birds.
The only thing I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to keep up on from him is the Energon universe. Like, I'm really weird when it comes to my comics. I want to know if I'm reading part of a universe, I want to read the whole universe, because all that stuff should seep into the books that I'm reading or whatever. And it just seems like there's going to be so many GI Joe Transformer books
Stuff going on.
that I don't know that I'll be able to financially or time keep up with it. But man, Daniel Warren Johnson doing
Heck yeah.
Transformers, his Void Rivals book.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to like do it for once and just read the books that like I totally want to read. Nothing against like Larry Hama's GI Joe, but I've never read it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into it because the trades are like $50. Like,
Oh,
Stuff.
yeah.
like just the small trades, the normal trades, because the back issue prices are so high.
I don't know what it is, but I was like, man, I want to read some old G.I. Joe comics. And I went to like half price books and I was looking in their trades and I found two. One of them was like trade paperback number 33 and it was $50.
Wow.
I'm just like, and usually half price books has like pretty decent prices on that kind of stuff. some of their stuff's weird. Like I got my Elongated Man Showcase Presents for $6, but they had an Aquaman Showcase Presents Volume 1. It's like 25.
That's weird.
Like I'm not spending $25 on Aquaman.
Oh,
Would you spend
I mean-
$25 on a not Ducky but a Reptar?
Well, you've already showed your cards here and said that those are dollar sketches. So no.
Oh, if I cut this to 25,
You should have a $25 bin right next to your dollar bin.
cut this in 25 pieces, and then it'll be
Ooh,
have a
there
what
you go.
bin? Have a what bin? Say that again.
A $25 bin right next to your dollar bin.
That's great. Do you think I could get away with that? I'll show this off here. I recently did a rewatch of the Pitch Perfect movies. I love those movies. I rewatch them often, but this time I decided to try a hand at Anna Kendrick's Becca Mitchell. So maybe I'll just have this in the $25 box because honestly, I kind of want to keep it. So if I put $25 on it, no one's going to buy it, and then I could just keep it and show it off, and then honor my $25 box.
What if they do want to buy it?
Then I say 35. Oh, yep. I'll do the reverse haggle, and it'll just be going up. But anyway, you think
I
this is
can't let that
time,
run.
the first time that a drawing of Anna Kendrick and Reptar are shown on the internet at the same time in a video?
Yes. No. No.
No? Oh man.
I've
I-
seen it before.
Does Reptar show up in one of the Trolls movies? That's probably why, right?
There's Anna Kendrick.
She's she's the lead voice.
I know the McElroys are in Trolls 2.
Oh really?
Yeah, I guess they petitioned and pushed really hard to be able to do it, and then they all three of them got roles, like little cameo parts. I don't know if you got McElroy brothers do My Brother and Me podcast, where it used to be Yahoo Questions or Yahoo Answers, whatever it was called, where they would just find really stupid ones and then they would give their advice. That's a fun time. I don't know what they use now because Yahoo shut that down.
Yeah. Cincinnati Comic-Con coming up at the end of September. I'm hopefully going to be able to get this episode out within a couple days of its recording, with being caught up and stuff, and I've really gotten to the groove on how to put the episodes together and what we do. So hopefully, if people are avid watchers, give a shout out to Katie from the Crimson Cowl Comic Club, my friend Katie over there. She's commenting a lot and always watching the episodes and stuff like that and contributing and asking questions and such. So she'll probably be one that will check this out and get all the information. But you guys are heading into Cincinnati Comic-Con now. Fife, you did kind of like a mini con, like with you just having your own table there, kind of just getting the word about pre-orders for Happy and had some Zoop copies and such. Rodgers, have you done anything yet?
No.
No. So, but then together, this will be your first time. The Fifes, I should say, the Fifes are together. Matt Fife, Matt Rodgers are together at Cincinnati Comic Con at the end of September. With
27th to the 24th.
there we go, and we have plugs for that probably at the beginning and the end of the show, as I have a fancy little upcoming appearances. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at a little button that has like something on it and the dates.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm really hoping we would give you our table number, but they haven't released the floor plan for the show yet. And I don't know if that's weird or not, because this is my first convention I'm attending, but to me it feels really late.
It feels really weird. I knew where I was gonna be at Muncie for it felt like a month and a half or so.
Yeah.
And this is coming up in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, like 2.5, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be there all 3 days. We're gonna have comics. I think we're gonna have copies of the Zoop book too, right?
Yeah.
We'll have those. We'll have number 1. We'll have all the covers. We'll have
Print.
awesome prints. We'll have
Original
sketches,
art.
sketch cards. I'm gonna have a bunch of the blank covers, so you can give me money for that, and I'll draw on it. Or you can buy a blank one. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap.
Sugar.
Give it sugar.
Yeah, so that's coming up, and it should be exciting. Can't wait to hear about it. And yeah, obviously following the journey through our own little private hangouts and such, but to come back, see if I can get you guys booked on Cartoonist by Night and talk about, how it all went and stuff.
You can talk to our people.
Okay, I'll do that. Are
Our
they-
people are us.
Yeah,
It's just us.
fair enough.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. We're gonna be there, and we're staying in town for it, which will be awesome. So hopefully we'll have some really cool hangout stories.
There you go.
Or it'll just be, and then we went back to the hotel room and I drew on my iPad for a little bit.
Ordered a pizza.
But yeah, we went to Cincinnati Comic Expo last year, and we were just handing out the bookmarks advertising our Zoop campaign because it happened right in the middle of it. And man, that was a blast. It was awesome.
That's where we met Artie and Dave and Alejandro. And I'd met Scoot before.
Oh,
Had you met Scoot?
no, that was my first time meeting any of them.
Okay.
I was like, where's Franco? He's not here. Okay.
He's gonna be here this year though.
Heck yeah, he is. I hope
That whole table did yep. Mm-mm.
What now?
Uh-oh. They didn't do shit. They didn't do nothing. They all do really awesome stuff. I'm super excited for Franco to be retired from teaching though, because he's gonna just do so much cool artwork. And I'm wondering, I'll bring it up after we stop recording. Never mind. Remind me.
I'll remind you.
Okay. Take it away, Anthony Laatsch. What's up?
I'm attempting to draw Tommy Pickles right now, but each time I'm trying to draw, like I have a reference, but I'm also just kind of trying to do my own thing. But I guess I'm not sure. We'll find out. My main thing is I got to get the blue shirt on him because I think having the blue in there is definitely going to help. But I'm drawing the face too big. I don't know if this shows up or not, but I don't know what I'm doing yet on Tommy. I think I might not be ready for Tommy Pickles.
I mean, if you had shown
can
that to me without telling me that it was Tommy Pickles, I probably wouldn't have recognized it. But since you said Tommy Pickles,
Yeah.
I can see it.
I think I'll finish it off here just to see how it looks. I left a little room here to get some blue because I think having the blue shirt on there will definitely help sell it a little more. But we'll see what happens. I just have to give him that misshapen head.
What you do, the secret is, if it turns out unrecognizable, then you just write Tommy Pickles at the bottom of the page.
There
Or
you go.
Thomas Dill. No, there's already Dill. Thomas Spears.
There you go. Tommy Spears.
Relish. Thomas Relish.
I can smell that dinner is done. So I'm gonna have to get going, guys.
At dinner. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's why I wanted to get the Cincinnati talking there quick before you left, so that way we had you talking about it.
Hey, let's do a quick pause real quick.
Okay.
Future Anthony, edit this part.
Let's cut to something I don't know yet.
From the ashes of the greatest comic book store in the universe, these comic book fan friends band together to review new comics, graphic novels, collected editions, and the occasional back issue. Led by host Anthony Laatsch, together they form the Crimson Cowl Comic Club podcast.
If you're just tuning in, if you clicked on YouTube and decided to scrub through an episode and then start there, you'll find out that Matt Rodgers is working on issue 3 of Happy Astronaut, doing some pencil work, things that cannot be shown here on the show. So instead, you get to see me try to draw Tommy Pickles. I wasn't too confident on one side. I did a real loose sketch on one side. Don't know if it's visible. But then I went to the other side, flipped her over, and I'm more confident with what's happening over here. So Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats from the 90s Nickelodeon.
Beautiful.
Oh, wait, that's Doug.
Bum 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 bum.
I
We
do
got
have
you.
I do have some Doug characters queued up, so those might actually happen.
Is one of them Skeeter?
Oh, hey Doug. Meep, meep.
One of them, Mr. Oh
Right.
crap! What's Dink? Mr. Dink.
Mr. Dink.
Hey, Douglas.
I was not ready for that. I'm so glad I stopped my line, because if I would have kept drawing, I would have made Tommy's head even more misshapen than it is already. Jeez.
Oh,
Then there's Patty Mayonnaise. I'm definitely going to draw some Patty Mayonnaise. We'll be back right now. So yes, I am drawing some Tommy Pickles here. So one thing that I have to talk about, I was hoping to get to it when we had the other guys too, but you'll just get the exclusive Rogers. The other guys will have to hear it on the playback.
yeah, they have to watch it and find out.
So yeah, plus it's also stuff they mostly know because I talked to all you guys about it. But Milwaukee Mighty Con just happened. It was the first time that I've tabled at a convention as an artist, which is a crazy thing. It's a thing that I had never really expected to do. I never really sought out to do that, and it just sort of happened. My friend David Gloyd of Crimson Cowl Media was having a table, and he was going to have some sell some old collectibles from the old storefront of Crimson Cowl Comic Club, or Comics and Collectibles, and then that led to him inviting me to hang out. And he's like, hey, if you want to talk about, the club, and then, hey, you could be there, talk about Cartoonist by night. And I'm like, I could probably do that. And then at that point, started thinking like, hey, I have one art print. What if I'd make some more art prints? So I have 14 different art print designs. I had probably 50 or so original sketch cards. Some of the stuff that I've shown off in prior episodes is well as all over my art channels. I had what I started introducing was my quick $1 drawings, which I've done on this episode here. And I'm going to stop my video for a second. We are still going to be recording, but I'm going to get up because I'm pretty close to the other $1 drawings I have. So I'm going to unearth those from my convention bin here.
Nice.
Because yeah, they were a lot of fun to do. I talked about it, the inspiration of Art Balthazar and Eric Wolfgang, leading to me to just do these what typically were 5-minute sketches. They're taking a little longer on this show just because I'm talking and I'm being watched and everything. But when I'm in my element, I kind of go a little quicker. And for me, a $5 or 5-minute sketch is quick for me. So I am returning to the setup in just a second or two so people can see it. And I'm back, everybody.
Magic.
Hey, Rogers.
Hey, what's up, man?
So I can't show everything because thankfully I sold some at Mighty Con. So let me get the lighting back to normal here. So I did the breakfast cereal monsters. My favorite one was the Boo Berry one, and it's actually the one that didn't sell. I sold Frankenberry and Count Chocula. And this one I was debating if I was keeping them, and now I'm gonna pay myself $1 and keep them. Also, the ones I wasn't sure if I wanted to sell was the mostly whiteout sketches of Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. So I've got the three Animaniacs here. I think they turned out pretty fun, and they did get some good reception, but nobody grabbed them. So once again, those might stay with me. I had a Kermit, didn't sell Rolf there. Hey there, I don't know why anybody didn't buy me. Well, they bought my old pal Kermit. Everyone always goes
Yep.
for the dog and not the dog.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go home, take myself for a walk, go home, go to bed. I did some quick. It all started with these quick Looney Tunes ones that just got really, really rough, but had a Foghorn Leghorn. I say, this ain't my best one, but it's all right. Then I did a cracked out Tweety Bird. Had a Taz, and then I did a series of the Flintstones. So I've got some Pebbles. I was just gonna say I got some Fruity Pebbles here, but so like why
Got any Crispix?
I can't? Yeah, nut checks. I'll do the nut check sketches next time. Had some Dino and some Wilma and Fred, Bonnie. No Barney. No.
Honey.
Then at the show I did some Fraggles. So I had a couple of the Doozers,
Man.
and then the rest are the other Fraggles. I did sell Red Fraggle though. My friend Jenna bought Red. I'll just show them this way because I can't hold them all up at the same time. So I would just do these super quick at the show. Once again, just kind of, $1. Oh, Garfield.
That's no Fraggle.
Yeah. What Fraggle is this? Okay, so I just had to do that little slideshow there of the $1 sketches. Okay, so Mighty Con. So it was super excited to go there and kind of, been going to conventions for almost 20 years as a customer. The last couple years, I've had the pleasure of hanging out at a Mighty Con Milwaukee with Art Baltazar, sitting at his table with him and help slinging his books. And I know everything that's on his table and read it all, so it was pretty easy to see people come up and recommend specific things to people and send them in this direction and that direction. And having many years in customer service and retail, that stuff comes pretty naturally to me when it comes to having to sell some stuff. And but it's even better when it's comic books. So then I helped out at a booth when he went to have some lunch with his children. So Art Baltazar stepped away, and myself and Franco were kind of looking over the tables. And then Art came back, and I gave him a stack of cash. And I said, "All right, I sold this, this, and this." And he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's just like, "I should have you do this all the time." And
You're like, yes, you should.
yeah. And I just had a blast with it. And so having those, little run-ins with experience of doing that, but now here I was set up my own table alongside David under Crimson Cowl Media. He had his collectibles, some stuff that was left over from the shop, including some trade paperbacks and doing big deals on that stuff. And then he has been doing some art. He's drawn, like most of us, drawing for the duration of our lifetime, but over the last couple months, we've all been kind of just really going wild on it. So he had some original sketches there. I bought a Hellboy that is somewhere that I'd have to get up and move everything again. But I'll show that stuff on a Crimson episode because him and I are going to do a Mighty Con special. So this is just kind of the quick little version. But it was fun to see family and friends that showed up, a couple that I knew were showing up, some that would be a surprise, and then I would half the other half of the customers were strangers, and that was kind of a fun experience to just have. This one guy, Mike, was the first one, and I know he's followed the page and stuff, so it's possible he may see this. But he took all the information and he bought a Harley Quinn print for me. And I just told him like, "Hey, you're my first sale of the day, as well as first sale as a convention artist," and got his picture and everything. And he was excited to do that. And it was just such a cool experience to see people come up, whether they bought something or not, just kind of react to things and people, I get a lot of laughs that they pointed at the creature from the Betty Lagoon, which you can see being inked on a past episode of this very show. And then seeing people from afar, like noticing that and kind of pointing and leaning over to the person that they're with and just kind of laughing and then, moving along and stuff. So it was fun to kind of get some of those reactions from afar. Um, but yeah, it all felt supernatural and or I should say it all felt natural. It didn't feel like it was there was no sci-fi experience going, there was no alien abductions.
Jensen Ackles didn't show up.
Yeah. And, um, but yeah, it was super fun, and I've got the itch that I'm just like, man, I'm like, I want to do it again. And David and I have tables already on the guest list for Mighty Con in Madison, Wisconsin, December 10th, and
Nice.
a Sunday for a 1-day convention. But I'm already doing some searches around the local area by me to find some just kind of little quick pop-up ones, afternoon ones. There's a local mall that does an awesome convention, and I was a little too late to know whether or not I should be doing that, so I am not able to go to it in a couple weeks. But I sent out the information to hopefully get booked for January, and that's like a free convention to attend. And then I think the tables are super inexpensive, and yeah, but it was super fun. It was exhausting just in the sense of just being on my feet or hanging out and just talking all day, basically, kind of like what I do on this very show here, talking, talking, talking. I
It's your
might,
specialty, man.
yeah, I might need a new whiteout pen because I think I've been using this one to the extreme. Oh, here we go. I got it.
I was
Uh,
worried.
Yeah, when I got this one, I know we talked about these. I got it and I was just like, yeah, this I don't think I can't use this. And then I found the jelly roll one and I'm like, all right, this one gives you the finer detail. But now I'm just like, when you need to lay down a lot of whiteout, this Bic one is a great choice. And with me doing the quick sketches, I think it serves the purpose of, I can be a little sloppy on it. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it adds to the charm of it all. So
That's my problem right now. Is like I've practiced trying to draw stuff like quicker,
yeah,
and I'm like, nobody's gonna sit here for a half hour waiting for me to ink this thing.
for sure.
I need to practice this a lot more. I'm bad at this.
Yeah, it's something I know that I've been getting better with, as far as like, I looked at a picture of Tommy and me from a couple months ago, pre Archie Art Card Challenge, would probably just draw that same exact picture that I was looking at. Whereas this one, I'm just like, all right, I got the shape of his head. I know what's going on. I did the eyes like how I want to, draw cartoon eyes. So I didn't do his typical eyes. And for the most part, I just ended up doing my own thing, which is something I've talked about on the show, just being like, I just want to get to that point where I can be a little more free and not be too married to the idea of having to look the entire time at a reference.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And going back to your convention,
yes,
um, one thing that makes all the difference in the world is when it is somebody that you don't know.
oh yeah,
Because it's like, it's awesome when your friends and family support you and everything, but it's like you don't know for sure if what you're doing is like good
yeah.
until it's like, I have never seen you before in my life and you are interested in my work.
You took out your wallet and you're handing me money and you want to purchase something? Like, yeah, it is pretty wild.
Are you my mom?
and and yeah, like the seeing the people excited, and I told them, got permission to take the photos and stuff, and they were all excited for it when I would say like, yeah, it's my first time doing this, and but yeah, it was just wild, and kind of talking about the family and friend support, and obviously that's been great for me, and hearing feedback from you guys and other people that I've known forever and stuff. And I've gotten a few compliments from my friend Erica, who has said, just being like, "Oh, I didn't know that was the drawing you did, like she thought was showing her like a professional artist drawing, and until she realized, oh wait, that's one that you did. And there would be a couple of those times that I would, you know, would do that and kind of catch her off guard with her not immediately knowing that, oh, he's showing me his work and not, because I'm often showing off everybody's work and stuff. So it's been cool to kind of just see those reactions. But yeah, when it came from a stranger, and it was it meant, you know, it meant a lot. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super stoked. That's awesome. I want to do more conventions, man. Or and by that I mean I want to do conventions, man.
yeah, yeah, it is kind of wild that like how quick this happened for me, and to the point where it's just like I beat you to the punch. Like, you guys had this plan for quite a while, and David Gloyd, I thanked him a couple times for it, and for inviting me in on this journey and stuff. But it's it happened real quick, and I was able to turn it around, and it ended up turning out pretty well for me. So
I'm over here talking to Fife like, man, I literally have a comic book on the stands, and this dude is doing conventions before me.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a little wild, but
That's all good. I didn't really get angry about it.
oh no,
I'm not that kind of guy.
oh, not on air.
Right.
Okay, we're back. And I don't know if people saw me actually do this or not. No, I think I had most of it done. So yeah, this is where I'm leaving Tommy Pickles. I don't know what's going on with his shoulders and
Ugh,
say it's
those
part.
gums.
Yeah. Thank you. I forget. I don't know if that was on air or not. I don't think it was, but Rogers suggested you got to give him those gums, and I'm like, oh, I'll pretend like I'm drawing teeth, but then color them pink and make them a little squishy and little wavy.
Ugh.
But I I was ready to just be like, I'm not drawing Tommy, to, hey, you know what? This is Tommy Pickles. I don't even have to draw his name on there. I just have to draw my name on.
Yeah,
I gotta draw.
exactly. Looks great.
I'm gonna.
I am super excited that it turned out looking like Tommy Pickles.
No, I was saying that I gotta draw my name. You do a drawing of your name essentially. Me, I write my name. So, like, yours is art, is what I'm saying. Your signature is a work of art.
It's pretty fancy. I practiced it a lot.
So yeah, if people want more details on the Mighty Con, we haven't recorded it yet, but David and I talked, and we were going to do an episode where him and I talked about our experience, because it was his first time as an artist. He's done cons as Crimson Cowl before, selling merchandise and such, but he cranks out some pretty detailed sketches, pretty quick, and he had some that were at the table. And so yeah, that was technically his first time too. But going into Madison, we have a lot of time to just kind of crank out sketches. I won't need to reprint anything. I had this queued up because I was going to do show it off as well. So him and I made the Crimson Cowl bookmarks. I designed the Crimson Cowl Comic Club side. I am the host of that show for anybody checking this out for the first time. And on there, I designed this long box. I reached out to the Cartoonist by Night guys saying, hey, have you guys drawn like a pile of generic comics or like a box of comics? And I just got a bunch of no's, and people like, no, we haven't done that. I'm like, oh, I got to do it myself now. So I went ahead and did just that. And I did shout outs to the creators that I've had on the show. So we see Happy Astronaut and Kid Slapshot comics that are peeping up out of the box. So I
Nice.
redrew those, just drew those out on the top, the title treatment. Got a Crimson Cowl logo slapped on there. I've got the Pun King, I forget, the awesome pumpkin from Brian Lynch, Hot Wing of Justice, Pumpin the Pumpkin.
There we go.
I forget. I think he has multiple names. Oh, I think he does have an official name. I don't remember if I can say that or not, but I don't know if that's. I don't remember if that's public. And then drawing Mona Gertrude, who is from the Cola Pop Creamies, Desmond Reed, who I had on the show, an awesome cartoonist out of the Boston area. So I wanted to give shout out to the people that we've interviewed throughout the Crimson Cowl Comic Club in 2023 and adding them as like stickers and stuff. And then David designed the Crimson Cowl media side of the bookmark, which has sketches from him of all the characters. He's done a bunch of these silent short films that are up on the YouTube page. Just go to crimsoncowl.com to find all the links and stuff like that. But I'm several characters in his black and white films, so I'm drawn on this bookmark a few times at this angle. It's hard for me to kind of like point it out where I'm at. So, anyways, it was fun to have these bookmarks out there. I had a bunch of Cartoonist by Night flyers that I quickly designed. And at the time of this recording, I am getting close to submitting our ad space. So I purchased ad space in this awesome comic called The Santos Sisters that I found out through Tim Seeley. I think they're Chicago local, these creators, which would make sense with the Tim Seeley connection there. And I got to see if they have the credits on the inside here or not. So I don't know the names offhand. But yeah, Troy sent a post into the group about some. They were looking for some old ad space here, or Greg and Fake is what they're listed as.
Nice.
And but the let me go to it here because I've gotten several issues of this since I saw Tim Seeley shout it out. So they have some like classic classified ads, and it's all real stuff. You could look at it being like, "Oh, this has to be fake," but it is actually real stuff in there. This would be the kind of comic that would lean towards saying like, "All right, these are all going to be fake," you know. But yeah, these are real, and or at least I would assume they are at this point. Yeah, they're probably all real. And so yeah, Cartoonist by Night is going to have a quote unquote large ad in the October issue, a Halloween special of the Santos sisters. It is
Awesome.
for mature audiences. But if you like Archie comics and you like parody and superheroes, you know, it has a feel of that, the way the stories are drawn and structured and everything like that. And it's just a lot of fun. And I have no idea who any of these characters are when I was reading it. You know, here's a Reptar looking fellow. That was just a coincidence. But um, but yeah, so Halloween issue of the Santos sisters. Ask for it from your local comic shop or your preferred online retailer, because Cartoonist by Night is going to have a real simple ad. It's not going to be anything all like inventive. You know, it's going to be a logo and a description. So.
Well, still be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm definitely, you know, it's something I already had pre-ordered just naturally because I follow that book, but now it feels cool to kind of have that in print as an ad coming this October.
I can't wait.
Cool. How are we sitting on time for your end here?
Got like 15.
All right, I'm gonna do one more. I may draw after you leave, anyways. After the recording.
I can show off this drawing that I did that I'm going to be selling
Oh really?
at Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Ooh. Oh
You
boy.
can see I still need to draw one line right here. But yeah. It has my signature that's in silver, but you can't tell.
Oh, no, I can see it now. Yeah. Cool. I love it.
There, it fits the whole thing sideways. Yeah. What I did is I went and I bought a bunch of 9x12 Bristol board, and I'm just like, in my free time, I'm just gonna do a bunch of these. Like I'll have quick sketches, and then I'll have some of these for sale. And I have done one because I ran into time constraints for Happy Astronaut number 2. That was a little bit scary. But it got turned in. It's good.
Yeah, it's out there. Or
It'll ship on time.
it'll be printed.
Eventually.
It better, because I have a couple copies pre-ordered for that book, so it better be printed.
Oh, it will be.
Otherwise, I get a nice refund looking my way. I'm going to draw Chucky here because I think this one's going to be fun just because you can emphasize the, and I should say Chucky from Rugrats, sticking with the Rugrats theme, because of his big purple glasses and his orange hair. So I think now that I did it, I should be doing it on an orange card. I didn't really start, so.
There you go.
I was just thinking of the theme and the skin tones, but I think I'll switch to an orange one. The orange one? Hey, do you bring which one do you bring? I brought the orange one and the orange one. Do you know where that's from?
No.
The original Clerks movie. We're on the roof and they're talking about, for another hockey puck or ball or whatever, and
Oh yeah.
how
Yeah.
bring? I brought the orange one and the orange one.
And I haven't watched that movie in forever. That was my first ever Blu-ray purchase.
Really nice.
And one of my friends decided they had to point out, did you notice that your first Blu-ray, your first high definition film that you have ever purchased was a black and white indie film?
Yeah, that cost $27,000 to make, and this is how you're celebrating the technology.
That's fine. My favorite Kevin Smith movie is not available on Blu-ray.
Dogma.
Yeah. It's so good. But from what I hear, there's a whole lot of drama surrounding Dogma and the rights and people. But
yeah,
I have it on DVD at least.
Yeah, because even the DVD's hard to get because people always talk about that. So I always just look at mine being like, I've got mine. So, but yeah, so hold on to that.
Or sell it for a boatload of money.
Put it on eBay as a double feature with your Happy Astronaut blank sketch cover variant.
I'll take the little sheet of paper out of it and I'll flip it around and I'll draw my own cover to Dogma.
There we go.
And then Kevin Smith will learn about it and then he'll hire me to do his comic books.
There's something, I don't know how he's hired a lot of people that like have done like cool fan art and stuff where he's just like, I really like that. Can I buy that so I can make t-shirts and stuff? So honestly, like if you're ever at that point where you get like a wind down or you gotta change a pace and things like that, you should take a stab at drawing Jay and Silent Bob in a really cool thing and send it out to him because I've seen it happen on Twitter and stuff where he's just like, oh, I love this. He's like, yeah, can I buy it from you? And we make t-shirts. And so
he put a call out maybe 6 months to a year ago asking for like basically sample pages of black and white comics that people have done because he was getting ready to launch. I think it's what turned into Quick Stops. I think that's what it's called.
Yep, Quick Stops. It is so good. It's 4 issues out there. There's a trade, and they're coming back for more Quick Stops, I believe, later this year.
Yeah. I submitted for that and never heard anything back, so.
Well, try again.
His loss.
That's what I say. But yeah, it's he's always been super cool with that. Like whenever he, notices fans with talent and stuff, and there is the times when they are on his payroll. So,
Well, heck yeah.
okay,
So
here's
cool.
Here's my pencils for Chucky. I decided to take advantage of the full page and just kind of like, rather than do the outline of his face and cheeks and stuff, just make an entire face card, but definitely leave room for his squiggly hair and yeah. So
Yeah. That was supposed to be his voice, but it wasn't.
it's been so long, so I honestly I can't hear a lot of their voices. Like when you did the voice for the what's his face on Doug, it's just like I lost it because I'm like, there's a voice I've not heard in quite some time.
That's a name I haven't heard since I cut your father's arms off and threw him into a volcano.
Awkward. I love it.
Oh, yeah, Douglas. I love it. Doug was like, for a long time, that was my all-time favorite cartoon. It was so good.
Quail Man and Quail Dog
Yeah, so good.
banging on a trash can,
Chalky Studebaker.
jumping on a street light.
I need more allowance, yodelay.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Why? Because I do.
Yeah,
The
this is,
best.
and I know we've talked about it in the past, but we have a love for the Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh my gosh.
We've mentioned that before, I think. I don't know if it's on air, but we've talked about it.
So pissed they still haven't put out season 3.
Yeah.
It's sitting on shelves in a warehouse.
Let's do a fanboy style movie where they broke into like Lucasfilm to get it, see an early cut of the Phantom Menace. We do that, but we're going to that warehouse to get the 3rd season of The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
So good. Such a great show. Like that was, I think, the first time when I was like too old for like kid shows where I felt like, oh my gosh, this show was made for me.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
There's a lot of
It
those
had so many
shows
rock stars.
say that again, that last part.
It had like a bunch of like musicians and rock stars in it, but not rock stars. They were like lesser known musicians. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael Stipe, everybody knows who that is, but it had like oh crap, it had like people from the B-52s in it, like 20 years past their prime.
But hold on here.
So good.
I was talking, forgetting that I had a purple pencil in my mouth, so I couldn't talk. I forgot a part of his glasses frame, and I'm like, oop, I got to do that before I complete the coloring. Yeah, and then you go back to You Can't Do That on Television. Alanis Morissette being a regular cast member. A Canadian-based sketch comedy show and stuff, and
So good.
that and
That show is on Paramount Plus. Yeah, that's who has Nickelodeon stuff. You can watch like a bunch of the episodes on there. Me and my wife binged it one day, just like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this in so long.
Alistair. Yeah,
So good.
I watched a lot of it on there too, as well as I watched a lot of Double Dare.
Yeah.
The other show on there, when I want, I love Salute Your Shorts and stuff. So I mean, I watched, Clarissa Explains It All, like everything Nickelodeon. Hey Dude, everything Nickelodeon did, I watched it. But going through on the recent, Paramount Plus stuff, I watched a lot of Nick Arcade.
Yeah.
That
Nick
was
Arcade was awesome.
like, it's funny to watch it now, but like back then, just be like, this was unbelievable. Like we could play inside of a video game and jump up and jump down and dodge things and push buttons, and and we look at it now just being like, wow, that's ridiculous. But then, oh, it was fantastic.
Yes, sir. I remember watching that being just like, whew. Our latest snafu with streaming stuff is they put out the Fiona and Cake sequel to Adventure Time on HBO Max.
Okay.
And we talked it up to our daughter because she really likes Adventure Time. And we were like, it comes out soon. And then I always watch stuff, first just to keep an eye on stuff.
Yeah.
Not for children.
Really?
Yeah, it has like cussing and like almost nudity.
Interesting.
So just a heads up to anybody out there that thinks that their kids can watch Fiona and Cake. I mean, you get to hear Finn say words that you would never expect Finn to say, because in Adventure Time they use a lot of euphemisms.
Sure.
And they don't use those in Fiona and Cake.
Interesting. Are the characters aged up at all, or does it just feel like, whoa, what are they just went with a new take?
They're aged up, kind of. Like, did you watch any of the Distant Lands Adventure Time stuff?
I've never seen any Adventure Time at all, so.
Oh, okay. So the TV show Adventure Time, the character Finn, at least, he aged in real time because like the voice actor that played him also, got older every year.
Yeah.
So like in the first seasons, Finn's like, 12 or something. And by the end of it, he's older, like deeper voice and everything. But then they did 3, I think they were an hour, they might have been an hour and a half, but it was basically 3 like long episodes called Distant Lands, and each one was focused on a different character, and it was kind of like a little sequel series to Adventure Time. And the third one was about Finn, and he's like older and big and has a beard, so he's like 20 years older.
Okay.
And that's the Finn from Fiona and Cake.
Okay.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Fiona and Cake. It's really weird. So the reason that Fiona and Cake exists at all, there was like a throwaway episode of Adventure Time that had these 2 characters that were basically like gender swapped versions of Finn and Jake. And you found out that it was actually fan fiction written by the Ice King character.
Okay.
And then they put out a bunch more episodes of them, and now this series. But the thing that's weird is like the series, like I said, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and in the first episodes, it's not really a spoiler, it takes place in our world.
Okay.
So it's like not like, basically they're not like Fiona and Cake the characters yet.
All right.
Like, she's a tour bus guide, and she just has a cat. The cat doesn't talk or anything, and the cat's name is Cake. And so it's pretty interesting, but yeah, it's really not appropriate for children.
Yeah, especially if you go in and obviously you would never expect it until you were experiencing it, and interesting.
I mean, it's like when Chris Pratt dropped that F-bomb in Guardians 3.
Oh yeah.
Just like, whoa, can they do that?
I remember seeing the news about that, so even though I try to avoid stuff, I did see that was a topic of discussion. So it got to the point where I eventually forgot about it until it happened. But I remember going into it just being like, well, I know this is going to happen. But then, yeah. I mean, it's done in a funny way. I liked it.
I just like that it was done in a completely like normal, bland scene.
Sure, yeah.
Like, it wasn't done in like, he wasn't in the heat of a battle being like, F you, Thanos, or something.
Yeah, and the movie's out there, but him just trying to instruct Nebula to get in the car. So
yeah, that movie was really good. They're my favorite series from Marvel, man. They're just so good. And
yeah,
that makes me super excited for James Gunn's DC stuff.
heck yeah. Big fan of James Gunn. His movie Slither from 2006 is what I started to become a fan of him from. And then retroactively realizing, he wrote the Scooby-Doo movies. And so I'm like, all right, I was already aware of this guy's work, and the Dawn of the Dead remake with Zack Snyder. I always have to pause so I don't say Scott Snyder from comics. And So yeah, James Gunn, and then once he was brought into Guardians, I think there was when he wrote a draft or a pitch or a script or whatever, blah blah blah, the people, the heads, Kevin Feige and everyone, the story is told that they read it and they're like, well, we like it, but we're hoping that it'd be more James Gunn. Like that's why we, brought you onto the project, and he just goes, well, he's like, I thought you wanted, like a superhero movie or something for Disney. And he goes, well, we wanted you, that's why we did it. And so we want more James Gunn out of it. And then supposedly he just goes, well, it's your funeral. And then he delivered, what we got in Guardians, and it just was awesome. So he
So
said,
great.
yeah, I don't think he ever really got many notes and stuff like that, and seemed like he had a
Yeah.
lot of freedom over there. Obviously, with existing in space like the characters were, so it didn't have to tell a greater story beyond their own. So
I need to watch his Suicide Squad movie.
I've seen it a lot. It is so fun.
I really like the actor that plays. I can never remember his name. Well, I can see it in my head, but I don't know how it's pronounced. But the guy that plays the Polka Dot Man.
So David Dismalchin,
There we go. That
yeah,
dude's awesome.
he is super cool, and that's a guy that has been in everything. For anybody that walks between both worlds of whether it's Marvel and DC, but like he's in like I think several Marvel and several DC of different timelines and different mediums, and then he's writing like comics over at Dark Horse with his I think it's Count Crowley it's called, and I think he's done a couple volumes of that now, and like he is working with somebody. There's a big name, and I cannot think, but like every time I see that, being like, oh, I'm so proud of that guy who worked, alongside Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight. Like he was that the whatever guy I'm trying to think of, or took the
He
rap.
just gave a real creepy laugh.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I remember that specifically, and then when he shows up in Ant-Man, and then then he's the Polka Dot Man, and he's just he's awesome, and yeah, big fan of David Dismalchin.
It's mulching. See, in my defense, when you see that dude's name
Yeah.
typed out, it doesn't look like it would be pronounced that way.
Yeah, and he went back to Kevin Smith. So Kevin Smith had him on his Fat Man Beyond or Fat Man on Batman, depending on what era of the show it was. And yeah, so I think they like sounded it out. And ever since watching him on that episode, I just know right away just kind of like with Chiwetel Ejiofor. You look at that name, he's the he's from Serenity. He's all Firefly Serenity. He's also from Doctor Strange. He's Mordo.
Okay.
Mordo, I think that's the name. And but he's another one too where you look at that name and he makes David Dismalchin's name look easy. And but yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I could even be saying it wrong, but I confidently say it, which makes people believe I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's the secret.
All that matters.
You don't have to be good at anything. You just have to make people think you are.
Exactly.
It's
Fake
like
it.
when they ask, if you could have any superpower, what would you pick? My answer is always mind control, because then I can just make them think that I can do everything else.
There you go. Mine's always like unlimited pizza and things like that. I never think outside of the pizza box too much, but
Why would you,
all right, here's Chucky from Rugrats.
Love it.
Yeah, I am
Love it.
that's
Now
my
draw his dad.
leading. What's that?
Now draw his dad.
Stu, right? Stu Pickle, or Chucky's dad.
Yeah, I can't remember Chucky's dad's name. I just know that he had a big red mustache.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at a picture of Skeeter here because I did pull up a couple references for things that I knew I would want to draw, but meep meep.
It's funny, like growing up watching Rugrats and enjoying it and thinking those parents are really lame. It's like, man, I really relate to Stu Pickles now.
Yeah.
Like, man, I feel you, Stu.
Yeah, he looked rough. Like, wasn't his like tie? Like tie was just so wrangled and just mangled and just. Oh,
Yeah, man. This tie was always a mess. He always had like a 5 o'clock shadow.
his 5 o'clock shadow had a 5 o'clock shadow. That's how much. It's more like a 10 o'clock shadow.
It's amazing.
Oh, good. But hey, those babies, they went on some adventures. Those Rugrats and
they went to
Phil
Paris.
and Angelica.
Ugh. Ugh. Not Angelica.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna stop here because I did a couple. This is a new experience of jumping into the physical stuff, and what I like, at least on air. But what I like is the fact that I actually have completed work, because anytime I've done the digital stuff, I always have to show the final way after, and sometimes I just redo it after the episode just because I'm not in the zone and I just need to be in my space. But so I'm gonna cycle through. Let me get back to my normal window here in just a second as we kind of wrap up the show. That's the only downside, because I do need a big computer upgrade for me to get the proper software that's compatible. So when I watch this back and edit it and stuff, I'll kind of see really how it all kind of looks, and I make it work. People get to see. Hopefully, you got to see that what happened. I'm
I
almost.
hope so.
Thank
I
you.
hope so.
Mm-hmm. So here I am. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. Okay, so here I am. So the ones that I did here on this show, some quick sketches, I'm just going to keep piling up to add to my eventual comic artist tables. I just want to go into Madison with like 400 drawings and just be like, $1 a piece. Do a bunch of sets like this, because there were some people that would just be like, all right, I got it. They're holding the $5 bill and they just start going through and picking and choosing, and that makes it kind of fun. And to me, everything I've done so far has been fun. And these, if I'm in my own space, they don't take that much time. But yep, so here we go. We've got a Gordon Shumway elf. And
oh, Alf.
Alf. Hey, Lynn. Where's the cat?
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby.
Then we have Tommy Pickles, and if I hold this upright, it looks like I'm Tommy Pickles.
A baby's got to do what a baby's got to do.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here for the pull out these quotes. I watched it so much, but the retaining of it, I've spent so long. And then here is a Reptar. We'll see if they want to print this on a future Reptar bar. Get that out
I'm
there.
sure they will.
And then Chucky.
Yeah.
I forget what's the last name on Chucky. Do you remember that?
I mean, I'm sure we do, but I do not. Time to pull up the Rugrats wiki.
That's all right. All right, cool. That's basically all I got. Anything that you've got?
Oh man, come see us in Cincinnati. Once we have the table info, I'm sure it'll be put up on social media pages. I'll be sharing it like crazy. I don't really know where to tell people to follow me anymore, because I literally have like 15 social media accounts.
Yeah.
And I barely use any of them, because I get the most interaction on Facebook now, which is weird because I thought Facebook was only for old people.
We're the Stu Pickles now. That's the thing.
You're absolutely correct. My God.
My
God, it's Jason Bourne.
This, so it shouldn't be of shock anymore that Stu Pickles invited you to play Farmville. So.
Oh. reminding me of why I left Facebook all those years ago.
I basically live mostly on Instagram. Between that and Facebook, I only get tweet alerts from Mike Allred basically, so I can, because he hasn't jump shipped to the other ones yet. So so I don't miss any Allred related tweets. But Instagram is where I do most of the sharing, and all of our plugs and handles and all that stuff are at the end of the show, and sometimes on the very bottom of our windows and stuff like that. So you know where to find us. But yeah, it'll be cool to follow the journey and see you guys hanging out there and get the pictures and just see the excitement, and hopefully it'll be a good show for you guys. And
I
yeah,
hope. That's my biggest fear, is that we're gonna go and like nobody will give a crap. And I know like statistically that's impossible, but people go there for certain things. I'm anxious to see how the writer's strike affects anything, if it will. I know we've already had a couple of cancellations, but they all say that it's due to personal reasons. And I don't know if that's code or like I can't remember her name. The woman she played Mulan and she was in
Ming Na
Boba Fett.
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah, she just canceled.
Oh.
Christina Ricci canceled. Second year in a row that she's canceled. They're gonna end up not inviting her next year.
Canceled the my Chicago one too, but yeah. And to speak on the Chicago's behalf, because Fan Expo Chicago had one of the biggest celebrity guest lists I've ever seen when it comes to like full cast, and having a lot of like Mandalorian and having a lot of Back to the Future and like the animation cast, and like there was so many people that have never done cons, which the names I can't think of right now, but like Susan Sarandon was there, obviously off the Blue Beetle. She was in Blue Beetle, but this was her first like convention and stuff, comic book convention. So like they had a huge guest list at Fan Expo Chicago. So yeah, it all boils down to them just not being able to talk about that stuff when it comes to their panels and whatever. Which I don't attend any panels, so I don't know what they talk about, if they just talk about Happy Astronaut or something. But
yeah,
I think Susan Sarandon was talking about getting the foil cover of Happy Astronaut pre-ordered.
Man, Susan Sarandon can have that for free.
Yeah,
that's my lady.
Because I'm pretty sure she's on record of saying that she went to KeenSpotShop.com to get herself some copies of Happy Astronaut and Kid Slapshot, and hold on here. And if they're available, but probably Greenhorns #1 on September 13th, cover by Troy, Kid Slapshot versus the Lunatic on September 20th, Jungle Drama pre-orders over on October 11th, and she probably picked up her Squish and Squash variant cover coming out this November, variant done by Matt Rodgers here.
There's also a Matt Rodgers variant cover for that Kid Slapshot book.
That's right. Yep. And that is on my note right here as I go down and see it right here. Yes.
We need to get another variant cover somewhere. I need to be in previews for 5 months in a row.
Right. Well, because you'll have, oh yeah, I suppose. I mean, you'll have the Happy 3 though, right? So
yeah, but that's a every 2 months book. So 3.
So
I submit. Let's see here.
Yeah, so December you'll have one then, right?
I submit the covers and synopsis in early August, and the issue will come out in December. So that means it'll be in previews in it might be October.
Yeah, I guess
that's right. It will be, because us and Squish and Squash are every other month, like we alternate. We're good.
Cool. So yeah,
we're safe.
Thanks for joining us. We don't know how long this episode was because there's a lot of cuts and things like that, and people dropping out, and going off to eat dinners and stuff like that,
and we got to torture Anthony, future Anthony.
Exactly. What is cool is that when it gets to the future Anthony part, when he sees that, it is pretty entertaining to just cut out a huge chunk, because then it's like, ooh, the episode just got shorter. I just have to find it. I got to get an editing flag where I can wave a flag. So when I scrub through the video, I can stop and be like, oh, yep, there's the other flag. So
See, what we always did for audio is anytime we had something, we'd clap really hard. So in the audio waveform, you'd just see this huge spike and be like, oh, something happened right there. I guess that doesn't work in video though.
yeah, I might we'll see if we can get like a happy astronaut flag printed or something, draw a flag or something.
That'll be our first merch. It'll be a flag of Happy Astronaut.
Based off of the fan art in the back of issue number 1.
Hey, there you go. Look at you salesman.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's gonna do it. It was fun hanging out, and we'll talk in probably about 1 minute when we jump into the text thread. So
Absolutely.
even though this is a random episode, we'll just say, hey, I'm looking over here, and I see the sun it's starting to come up. And you know what that means? That means it's time to get back to our day jobs.
Ugh.
Yeah, got it. Can't get the thing closed.